Okay, so we're going to try this one more time. Okay. Just all of a sudden, the internet is glitching. All right. I had no problems, but all of a sudden, I go live and now the internet wants to act like it has no sense. Anyway, so no one's here. So I'm going to wait a few seconds for some people to come on. Okay, we're back. I see a few of you. Thank you for being patient. I don't know what the hell is happening right now. But anyway, we are here. Okay, I won't be long. All right. But like I said, I wanted to take this opportunity to say hello and say welcome and say thank you all, you ladies, for being here. I know some of you men are here. You are welcome here as well. But please understand that Unleashed Alchemy is designed for Black women, women of the diaspora who are finding their way, finding their power, and not finding is the wrong word because you finding would imply that you've lost your power. You have not. But navigating life after religion, navigating life while you're untangling from that dogma, it can feel different. Okay. It can feel different. It really can, because this is identity work. It is nervous system work that you have to take yourself through, because like I always say, it is not enough just to walk away from the church, because you cannot untangle from dogma through here. It has to be in your body, it has to be in your identity, because you are the original woman, and you just have to remember that. All right. And so this is about you settling back into your nervous system, what you forgot. And you're on a path of remembering. Every day you're remembering who you are. Every day you're remembering your authority. Every day you're remembering your spiritual authority, your economic authority, your political authority. You're remembering your cosmic authority. And it's every day. Black Butterfly, thank you. Wait, let me say the whole name. Black Butterfly Emerging. Hey, thank you for being here. What you share on this channel is changing my life, and I've only been here for a week. You are so welcome. Thank you for sharing that. All right, that's why we're here, right? So I want to answer some of your questions, okay? And also, let me say this. While I was going through some of your comments, and I saw some of you subscribers that were just tearing into some of the some people that are coming on that, you know, still want to hold on to their religion. They still want to hold on to their dogma. And they were leaving comments, and I'm going to say this. I already know that what we talk about here publicly is going to attract people who are not going to disagree. And I know that every disagreement is not necessarily negative. Do you know what I'm saying? So, fine. If people want to disagree, that's fine. I will never allow someone to be ignorant, though. There is a difference. Somebody can disagree, but they do not have to be ignorant. And there were a few ignorant comments, and I didn't have to say anything. Y'all took care of it. Y'all took care of them. Thank you. All right. What I want to say this too as well. Because I am talking to women who look like me. I am talking to Black women. I am talking to women of the diaspora. Okay. And I don't want this to be a platform where it is a male versus female. And I saw some of the comments, some people coming in trying to turn it that way. Don't even get into a back and forth with them, because if anyone comes here and they listen to any of this content, they listen to any of my messages, and they still want to turn this into a female versus male or Black woman versus Black man thing, they have completely lost the message to begin with. All right. So you just kind of have to let them just be in the world, in their consciousness. You can't do anything with that. All right. So I want to say that too. So just as you are taking care of the people in the comments, just also preserve your energy to not get caught up in those kind of back and forth conversations either. I appreciate the engagement because yes, the comments and the engagement and people engaging with each other even without me there, yes, it does help the platform. It does help the platform. So I appreciate that, but I just want you ladies to remember to guard your energy. Just protect it, because it is, yes, it's over the computer screen. No, you'll probably never see those people that you're commenting with. uh, well, let me say that. I'll say it like this: you're not going to see the people that disagree with this. You'll probably never see them in person. All right. So, but even with you still commenting, you are still, in a sense, giving your energy to that. And by all means, I want you to protect your energy, protect your aura, protect your auric field, protect your ori. All right. Protect your nervous system. So I want to put that out there. So here's how this live is going to go. I'm going to answer a few of your questions. And I also want to say this before I forget. The platform is growing because you all are sharing the episodes. And I didn't realize how much of that was happening. I didn't realize. So thank you for that. You're sharing not only Unleashed Alchemy TV on YouTube, but you all have also been sharing the podcast. I'm getting more downloads with the podcast episodes. If you're here and you haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast, you can do that as well. It's Unleashed Alchemy, and it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, the two major ones, and then all of the other ones. It's on every single podcasting platform, I feel like. But anyway, it's sponsored or not sponsored, but the main platform is Podbean. And Podbean shoots off your episodes to all of the major podcasting platforms. So thank you. All right. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it with other Black women who either are leaving religion, have left religion, and they're looking for a place to land in order to soar. What I am bringing you here is something that I wish I would have had. I wish I would have had, like I just said, a landing pad so that I could launch, so that I could soar. And that's how Unleashed Alchemy is. Okay. Unleashed Alchemy is with or without me. Unleashed Alchemy will be here when I am gone, because religion is one of those constructs that people are going to fight to the death to keep, because religion just has its claws in society, in every part of society. All right. So that's why I say Unleashed Alchemy is a launching pad for you to soar. It is beyond me. All right. So let's get into the questions. Another thing I want to say is this. If you have not subscribed to the Unleashed Alchemy weekly email newsletter, I hate to call it that. I got to think of another way to say that, because that sounds so boring. So if y'all have some ideas of what I can call that email list so it doesn't sound so dry, let me know. All right. But if you go to unleashedalchemy.com, go to the website, that very first page, when you get on the email today, you'll get a complimentary PDF guide that goes through 10 ways that you can unravel dogma, to recognize dogma in your life, religious dogma in your life, even though you've left religion. And the reason why I put that PDF together is because Goddess T. Marie, you have your, yes, you do have your PDF, because I think is your email Goddess T. Marie too, or am I thinking of someone else? I think I did see your name on there. Is yes. And it's a way where you can just look at all of those things in just one easy PDF. And there are 10 ways that dogma shows up in your life. However, that list is not exhaustive. It's not. If I did something like that, it would be volumes and volumes and volumes. All right. Um, but even if you have a thread of dogma in your life, even if if it doesn't directly fall underneath those 10, you can see that you'll be able to see that thread in one of those 10. I hope that made sense. Black butterfly emerging. Oh, good, 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 good. Okay, so I hope that it's helping and it's something that you can refer to to support you. All right. Good. I'm glad you guys love it. Okay. All right. Also, don't forget that there is a course there. I have a course as well. And if you're on that email list, you saw the special, the offer that you get from that course. All right. And then I also do one-on-one sessions as well. So don't forget that. Now, let's get to the questions. Okay. So I'm going to start with Goddess T. Marie. There's two things, okay, that I wanted to cover with you, because you talked about ancestor rejection, and you bring up such a very good point. And that was from a video where I was talking about ancestral veneration and how, as a woman of the diaspora, we were always taught that that was so evil and so wrong and, quote, demonic, satanic. Do we even need to go through all those adjectives? You already know. And so, but while we were told that, ancestral veneration has been in our face. Ancestral veneration comes from our ancient Black mothers. Where do you think ancestral veneration came from? But while we were told that it was evil, it's done right in our faces, right? So you talked about how you felt like, I believe it was an uncle you said that you had, that you feel like you're rejecting him because you don't know him. Oh, no. It was an uncle. You had an uncle that you knew, but there were some other people that you knew and you felt like you were rejecting them because you don't know them. And that's fine. That's fine. You start with who you know. Yeah, you don't know the man, and that's perfectly fine. I went through the same thing until I got to the realization. I said, okay, even the ones that I don't know, the men, because I know we're talking about our African ancient Black mothers, but even with the men, it's still a part of your bloodline, right? When you look in the mirror, you see both matriarchs, patriarchs. You see all of them, so you can't get rid of them, so to speak, but you start with what you know. That is perfectly fine. And then down the line, if you choose to say, okay, well, now I'm going to embrace and call on the ancestors, the men that I don't know. And I'm saying this on over and over again on purpose. It is your choice, because this is your spirituality. This is your practice. This is how you choose to approach it. If you choose to venerate those ancestors that you don't know, then so be it. That's it. Don't make it difficult. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but just, it's fine if you're feeling that way. And it's not, I wouldn't even call it a rejection. It's just, you don't know it. You don't know them. You start with your uncle that you know. And then what you could do, if you feel comfortable doing this, as you are developing that connection with your uncle, you're still keeping his memory alive in your life. You are still communicating with him and his money. Okay, you still communicating in that with him and that money he has for you. Take some of that money. Maybe if you're in a space where you can um, make a tiny altar. And here's a side note: an ancestral altar is not required. You don't have to have an ancestral altar because you are the altar, right? But you can take a bill or a currency from the money that he has for you once you get your hands on it. Put some of the dollars, the coins on your altar, and then start to communicate in a way where you say, okay, I know you, but I'd like for the other ancestors to come through, the other ones that I don't know, the benevolent ones that I don't know. I'd like for them to come through. I'd like to have a connection with them as well. Help me to do that. That's another tip for you. Oh, you used to braid his hair. Okay. So y'all were close, obviously. Okay. So I wanted to touch on that. And then a question that you had for me was regarding abundant identity. And let me say this. I've got the next 2 episodes, and I think they're coming out Monday. It's either Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Thursday. But it's the next 2 episodes. It's a very short series that I'm doing on reconnecting with your abundant identity and how religious programming has negatively influenced the financial abundance in Black women. Okay. It's a short 2-part series. And there's also going to be an abundance activation 6-minute video that you can follow along with a PDF. I'll make sure if you're on the email list, I'll make sure that you have that. If you to connect with, how do you know? And I believe your question was, how do you know that you're abundant, or how do you connect? Or no, you said, how are we abundant? You're abundant because your cells and your body tells you you're abundant. Look at your DNA. If you, okay, so let's do a little bit of science here. Some of you may already know this, but it is an estimate that if you were to unwind your DNA coils, if you were to unwind them, it would take at least 5 times to wrap all those coils around the globe. And that's an estimate. 5 times. Black butterfly emerging. I tried using the course special from your newsletter and it didn't work. Hold on. Do I have a pen? Okay, I'm going to take care of that for you, Black butterfly. I don't know why. Let me see. Give me a second. Goddess T. Marie, I haven't forgotten about you. Let me take care of this real quick. I have to leave myself a note because if I don't, Black butterfly, yeah. Okay, let me see. Black butterfly, is your email, is that your name, your email? Black butterfly emerging. Send discount. Excuse me. Okay, it's not. So then do this. Email me. Send me an email, unleashedalchemy.com. So that way I can, that way I can send you the code again. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. Just do that for me, please. And I'll make sure it works for you. All right. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. So, where was I? Oh, how are we abundant? Goddess T. Marie. So, look at your cells with your DNA strands. 5 times around the globe it would take to unravel your DNA strands. With your cells, it's an estimated number of, I believe the number is 4 trillion. That's an estimate, and that's a low number. In your cells, just we're talking about you, one person. You cannot, your brain cannot wrap itself around what 4 trillion looks like. I mean, at least I can't. Maybe you can, but I can't. That's infinite. That is infinite. So in your very nature is infinite. You by yourself, you have enough electricity in your body to light up an entire city. Just you by yourself. So just with those 3 pieces, with those numbers, those estimated numbers, and that's science. You know, some people need scientific proof. I'm not saying that that's you, but just with those numbers, you're abundant. Your nature is abundant. The truth of you does not know lack. The truth of you does not know caps or limits. The truth of you is abundant because your energy is abundant. Your energy cannot be contained. That is a part of your cosmic nature. That's what it is. And you, with what I'm telling you right now, you may not, your brain may be saying, well, I don't believe it. How is that possible? I don't know. I can't wrap my head. That's fine. You know, your brain doesn't have to believe it. But if you just consider it, if you just consider that being abundant is your nature, over time, over days, over months, and it doesn't even have to take that long, you're going to start finding that you're going to start embodying that, regardless of what your brain says up here, because your nervous system is going to adjust to that. Your nervous system already knows that you're abundant. It just already knows. But as we have gone through life, we've had religious experiences, we've had life experiences in society, we've had all of these messages, these limiting messages coming at us from everywhere and everybody. Our brain starts to say, well, forget what my nervous system is telling me, forget what my nature is. Now I have to believe what all these people are showing me, what constructs are showing me. Forget what the nervous system says. But no, the nervous system is still active in its abundance. So therefore you are abundant. That it's not something that you have to look for. And I hate, let me say this. These messages that I see when I see people saying, oh, I can show you how to, or I can show you how to chase abundance, or I can show you how to make money chase you, or make abundance chase you. No, 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 no. No one is chasing you. You're not chasing anything. There's nothing abundant that's chasing you because you are it. You see what I'm saying? You are it. When you look in the mirror, you see abundance. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? Let me know in the chat. Goddess T. Marie. All right. So, Alicia let's see, there's 8 of you here. I don't know if Alicia 1023 is here or not, but she asked me if I could share if my story of leaving religion is if I did a video about that. And my story of leaving religion is weaved in and out of almost every single video. And the reason why I did that was because it's not, I feel like I left religion over a 20-year span, beginning with me physically leaving. And the reason why I say I left religion over a 20-year span, because the dogma was still playing out in my life. So yes, I physically left, but I was not free. So that's how I'm going to answer that. Now, if you guys want me just to dedicate a few videos just to talking about me leaving religion, giving you a story, the story behind it, or I should say stories, I will do that. Just let me know in the chat. Okay. Now, let's see. Another one is this. Now, okay. This is not necessarily a question, but this next comment, it was left by Black7892. Thank you. If you are here, let me know. But this individual, I left a comment saying, talking about our oppressor. And then there was, she left some comments after that. But what I want to say is this, the reason I'm bringing up is this. When you are detangling from religious dogma, one of the first things that you're going to find is going to change is the way that you speak and the words that you use. Our oppressor. As the original woman, we don't have an oppressor. Words like minority all goes out the window. So we have to get into the practice of being very intentional about the words that we speak. Because the words that you speak, that is what you're binding yourself to. That is what you're claiming. That is what you're accepting. Does that make sense? So one of the things, again, I'm going to say this again, one of the things that you're going to find is that your speech is going to change. It has to. Because as you elevate from the inside, your expression on the outside is going to change. And part of that expression, it's not just going to change, but it's going to be elevated. And part of that expression is what comes out of your mouth and what you accept. All right. So I wanted to say that. Let's see. Another question is from Honey Dip Chocolate. Is she here? She asked me, because as you all have seen, I have been in a lot of my videos, especially within the last couple of months, I have been quoting from Mami Wata, the volume 1 and volume 2, the African Ancient Goddesses and Gods Unveiled, written by Mama Zagbe. I have been reading from her books and quoting her and giving you the page numbers. Well, I guess there was a video that I did where maybe I forgot to give a page number, but I just wanted to let Honey Dip Chocolate know. She's asking me to please give page numbers. I always give page numbers. All right. Before I even read the quote, I will tell you what the page number is if you would like to follow along. And always know this, I am not going to, I swear, I have, let's see, volume 1, volume 2, then I have the First Sibyls, I've got, what was the other book? It's a picture book of the ancient Black mothers written by Mama Zagbe. I said all that to say this. I have 5 of her books, and I switch around. All right. So I will always give you the cover. I'll give you the cover of the book, and I'll always give you the page number. All right. All right. Let's see. Another question comes from Shauna Fuqua, 4057. If you're here, hello, Shauna. And her question is, now, here's a side note. I'm assuming that people who have, well, based off of the picture, when these people comment, I see Black women. All right. So I'm just going to go with that. All right. Sean Fuqua, 4057, asks, what is the responsibility of the original woman? And my answer to that is the responsibility of the original woman is for her to remember that she is the original woman. And whatever that phase of remembrance looks like, allow yourself to go through it. Which is why I am here as a guide to help you do that. So, what is the responsibility of the original woman is to remember that she is an original woman. And your flight, your elevation takes off from there. All right. Let's see. Sarita Smiles 4161. Can you post the book titles in the chat, please? Yes, I will. Okay, let me do it real quick. Let's see. And also, when you see Mammy, Mammy, M-A-M-I. I got busy with kids. I'll be watching. Okay, take care of yourself. Goddess T. Marie, thank you for being here. All right, take care of the kiddos and get your money. Okay. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Mami Wata, when you hear old videos of Mama Zagbe talk about Mami Wata, she pronounces it Mammy. I have also heard it Mommy. In the books, it doesn't show the actual pronunciation, which is why I'm pronouncing it the way that Mama Zagbe did. All right. Because, the reason I'm bringing that up is because someone made a comment saying I would never be a mammy, and whoever it was, typed it out, M-A-M-M-Y. Okay, whatever. Ancient Gods Unveiled, Mama Zagbe. And then let me put in, do I have the other two? Mami Wata 1 and 2, volume 1 and 2. Hold on. Volume 1 and 2. And then she's got hold on. The Sibyls. The Sibyls, first prophetesses of Mami Wata. And I'm going to tell you this, the Sibyls, the first prophetesses of Mami Wata, that is a very short book, but it's going to rock you. All right. It just is. And the volumes 1 and 2, they are pretty thick. So, just, you can use it as a resource, or you use it however you want to. Okay. Let's see. Do I have any other questions here? Oh, here's another one regarding our speech and what we say. This comment is from Hidden Beauty 2828. And this is in response to the ancestral veneration video that I did. Also, side note, would you all be interested in a class on that? Because based on the comments that I have, and not just here, but I also have an account on TikTok, but people were asking, well, how do I venerate my ancestors? And sometimes you get used to doing things where you start to wrongly assume, which is what I did, that everyone knew how to do that, which is, and people don't. So just let me know if you'd be interested in having a class. But Hidden Beauty 2828 says that she's trying to venerate ancestors daily. You don't have to try to do that. Anytime when you wake up, because you are your ancestors, that in itself, that action in itself, the way that you speak about yourself, that is ancestral veneration. I think sometimes we think that it has to be this big, elaborate thing where you're standing in front of an altar, you're standing in front of a candle, you're standing in all of these things and symbols that represent your ancestors. No, it doesn't take all that. That's if you choose to have an altar, if you choose to have water, if you choose to have candle, if you choose to have liquor, if you choose to make food for your ancestors, if you choose to have flowers, their favorite flower, cigar, whatever, that's extra. But that is not necessary. It is not required. I said that in this video earlier. I'm going to say it again. You don't have to try to venerate your ancestors. You just do it because you are your ancestors. You can simply say before you go to bed at night, or if or whenever you go to bed, when you wake up from your sleep, ancestors, thank you for your support. It can be that simple. Thank you for the connection. Thank you for your ancient wisdom that's in my blood, that I can use for this time, that I can use for 2025. Thank you for this ancient wisdom that I have that's already within me, that brings up a solution to everything. Thank you. That's veneration right there. All right. So just remember, and I think when we say tribe, it because we think it's this difficult, hard thing, and it's not. All right. So just remember that. Okay. Let's see. Here's one last thing that I want to say, and this is not this is not a question, but I talked about this in a video before where I told you ladies, people will attempt to tell you the reason you left religion or the reason you left a churches is because you didn't get what you wanted, or because it was a bad church, or a bad pastor, or just shitty people. You left. You didn't just leave a church, you left a construct. I want to remind you of that. You left a construct. You left a platform that was taking your energy, that was siphoning your energy, that was causing you to put a lid on your own identity. That is what you left. It had nothing to do with the people. It had nothing to do with the size of the church, big or small. It had nothing to do with that. But I'm bringing this up. I'm making this point because people will attempt to gaslight you in that way. Don't allow it. All right? You left a construct that was no longer serving you because your soul was calling you to elevate. You left to complete your elevation. You left to embrace your elevation. People don't understand that. You don't have to force a proof or to force anything. You don't have to explain that. You left a construct. Do not allow people to gaslight you otherwise. All right. So before I go, I didn't want to. Oh, there's one more thing that I want to say. I did a poll. I think it's probably 2 weeks ago. I don't remember, but a poll about the support that you ladies need. And again, the information that I bring you, the course that I have, the way that I've structured my one-on-one sessions, it is something that I wish that I would have had when I was navigating my life after religion, okay? And I want to make sure that I'm providing you ladies the support so that you can embrace your spiritual authority, all right? And there's a reason why you've left religion and you find yourself in this time in 2025 in that space, right? So I did a poll asking if you would prefer a private community, which would be a private paid space, all right? Or if you prefer one-on-ones or courses. Now, a few of you voted, and the majority of you said, based on the amount of votes, the majority of you said that you want a combination of all three. If you haven't voted yet, go back to that poll. It's in the community section, or maybe I'll just do a brand new post. I'll do that. But if you find it, just make a vote on that poll, please, and just let me know what your preference are. Black Butterfly Emerging says, also don't allow people to ask you about your beliefs now that you no longer believe what they do. Yeah, and it is. And you can always tell, you'll have people that are really genuinely curious and they're intrigued because they see you moving in life differently now. It just shows up. Your expression is different. All right. You're no longer saying, well, this is just how life is. I just have to accept. Nope. Because you have a spiritual technology that says you don't have to accept things that you don't want. All right. And so you can always tell the difference between an interrogation and someone who is genuinely asking because they are curious. All right. But you do not, you're so right. You do not have to get yourself worked up because people will try. And I didn't know that. So I would allow myself to get worked up when people would come to me with things. I didn't know, and because it is, it is a part of personality that I have, where I just kind of just go in. But yeah, so thank you, Black Butterfly, for reminding us of that. Okay. Sarah says, I have a quick question. I have actively disregarded my faith, and part of the reason was due to a lot of control that Christianity had over my life. This included sexuality. Is this common? Yes. Because here's the thing. As a Black woman, your womanhood, your sensuality was covered. There was a lid on it. You didn't know how to, your sensuality was viewed as evil. You were told to push your sensuality away. And sensuality, yes, it includes your sexuality. Sensuality also includes the softness of who you are as a Black woman. So this whole idea of this strong Black woman image, I also did a video on that. That was empowerment covered up as, no, I'm saying it wrong. It was a way to downplay your womanhood disguised as empowerment. That was not empowering because it caused you to forget your softness. your sensuality and your sexuality. To appreciate, part of your sexuality is to appreciate your own body. And remember, this whole conversation about deconstructing from religion, it involves your nervous system, which is where? In your body. Religion takes your when you have a construct that can come in and take your mind, it's easy for your body to go away with it. So now you're all in your head. So if you don't know how to connect with your nervous system, you don't know how to connect with your body, you don't know how to appreciate your nervous system, you don't know how to appreciate your body, which means you don't know how to appreciate your sensuality, you don't know how to appreciate your own sexuality. Does that make sense? I just said a lot in like 2 minutes. But thank you for your question. Does anyone else? Sarita smiles. I have to be honest, I'm struggling with this as well because I can't reject God due to in fear. Okay. I'm not, first of all, I want you to relax in that, Sarita. Don't get worked up on that because this is not about you rejecting anything. And then you also have to ask yourself, well, what or who do I believe God to be? When you look in the mirror, you're looking at Goddess. So you're not rejecting Goddess. You can't reject yourself. So I want you to relax in that. The fear that's coming up, face it. Okay, fear. Why are you here? What is the fear saying? What is the fear telling you? What is the fear telling you that some God up in the sky is going to come and punish you because you left religion? Face it. Be soft in it. If you have to, and I've talked about this before in my videos, one of the ways that really helped me was journaling, putting pen to paper. That is part of your alchemy. It's part of your alchemy. Putting pen to paper and recognizing and facing the fear. What is it telling you? Where did you get that story from? Do you really believe what that fear is saying? Sarah Squeaks 4283. I was made to fit into a box they made for me. You're all right. I wasn't empowered. They were angry that I didn't want a husband. They made me feel weird. And that's another video that I'm going to do. I actually touched on it about how Black women are taught to, in religion, are taught to prepare themselves to be picked. I won't even get into it right now, but I'll save it for the episode. Sarita, for so long, I believed God to be angry, punishing father figure. Yes. Yes. And then they use the Bible as, quote, God's word. Well, to me, that God, if that was the person that I was supposed to worship, that God in that Bible sounds psychotic. Because on one hand, the God was loving, and then, like you said, angry. On one hand, the God was killing people, wiping people out, everybody, your kids and your dog. Okay. So I get that. Yeah. And so you have to work with that. You have to work through that. Sarah, I serve God in my own way. Your videos have taught me a lot. I'm glad that you are receiving help. I'm glad that they're resonating with you and you're using the videos as part of your spiritual bag. So let's see. Okay, you guys, ladies, I have a couple more minutes. Does anyone have any other questions? I said this earlier, a couple of you came on after. If you haven't signed up for the weekly Unleashed Alchemy Weekly, you can go to unleashedalchemy.com. And when you sign up today, you get a complimentary PDF that shows you how to recognize where religious dogma is still playing out in your life. Okay. And also, too, before we go, I want to say thank you to, let's see. Oh, you know what? I forgot one question. Sarah, oh, good. All right. Thank you. I forgot one question. From Tribe Called Maya. Is she here? That's her handle. Tribe Called Maya. She asked which books or what books to start off with. And here's what I want to let you ladies know. Don't focus on, okay, what do I do now? What do I do first? Or what do I read first? If you have a book or any video that you decide to watch, and it's something that resonates with you, start with that. It's not so much about what do I do first or what do I read first. Actually, the first thing that you want to do is get back into yourself. What feels natural for you? If it is reading a book, what books feel natural to you? What feels like home to you? I'll give you an example. One of the things that was I always had an affinity for was moon magic. So one of the books that I started reading was about the moon and the moon phases, because that's what felt home to me. So I don't want you to get caught up in, okay, what do I read first? What do I do first? Just get back into your body. If you have not already done this, begin with meditation, because meditation is the perfect nervous system regulator. It helps you get back in touch with your body. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. All right. And let me make sure, because I thought I got all the questions. Over and over. Okay. I think I got it this time. And I want to say this. Thank you to those of you that put a little bit of your story into the comments. I saw stories of abuse. A woman talked about leaving her abusive husband and staying with her abusive husband because her religion told her that she would be failing a God if she left that abusive situation. Thank you for sharing that. Also, someone talked about how they watched their mother go through an abusive relationship, okay, neglecting her children because of a God out there somewhere, that she was fearful that she would be punished if she destroyed her marriage by leaving that abusive situation. Like, these are things, this is one of the reasons why Unleashed Alchemy is necessary, all right, because of stories like that. So I wanted to tell those women, thank you for sharing those stories. That is not an easy thing to do, okay? Especially sharing it online with people that you don't even know, all right? So before we go, I know I've said before we go like 10 times, but do any of you ladies have any other questions? Thank you all for being here. I'm excited for where Unleashed Alchemy is going and what it's going to look like and what it's going to evolve into. Um, in the future, there will be in-person events. Someone asked me about a retreat. Okay, that's in the works. All right. And don't forget, I said this earlier, but don't forget to vote on the poll. For the moment, if it's community, a private community, that would be most helpful. If it's one-on-one sessions, hey, YOLO XOXO, thank you. Or if it's, let me start all over. If it's a private community, if it's one-on-one sessions, or if it's courses at the moment that would help you the most. All right. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm looking forward to the events." Yeah, me too. I think honestly, my preference is in person as well, Sarah. So I get it. You spoke about Heka in one of your videos. Will you speak more about that in the future? Yes, Kim, thank you. Yes. It's your voice as the original woman is the standard. It is the standard. But you have to be anchored in that in your life first. Because there's so much, because you carry that cosmic balance, we don't realize the energy and the frequency that is in our breath, that is in our voice, that's in our words. They go out and accomplish what we send them out, those words out to do, but we have to be anchored in that in our own lives first. We have to remember that. Yeah, Kim, thank you. Any other questions that you ladies have? I honestly didn't think I would be on here this long. It's almost an hour. And I know with a community, with a private community, every session that we would do would be live, and of course they would be scheduled. Okay. It's just with YouTube Live, I don't necessarily schedule these in advance. Okay. But in the private community, of course, they would be much more structured, because in a private community, I would do live webinars, live Q&As that will be scheduled. You'll have access to other resources and things that I would not share on this public platform. All right. Sarah says religion also makes self-love and self-confidence seem evil. Yeah. Yeah. Because that is autonomy. That's getting back. Self-love and self-confidence is going back to being autonomous. Is going back to you being in your sovereignty, in your goddess power. You can't have too many Black women talking about their goddess power and their sovereign energy. Otherwise, religion isn't necessary. That goes against the construct of religion. That was how religion came about in the first place, because it usurped the power of the ancient Black woman. Yeah. Okay, y'all. All right, y'all. My Midwestern is coming out. I mentioned this to my godparents before they shut it down quick. Well, yeah, well, don't mention it to them anymore. Some things you have to keep to yourself. There's so many things that I keep to myself. And I have many people around me that love me. And the majority of this I keep to myself. Okay? Yeah. All right, ladies. Don't forget the poll. Check out the website. Check out my website, unleashedalchemy.com, to see the other ways that I support you. There is a course that's there. It's one course. I have one-on-one sessions that you can sign up for. My one-on-one sessions, I do them differently. Okay. It's not just a we talk for 45 minutes and that's it. My sessions are 90 minutes. Okay. They are video sessions, which means you'll see me, I'll see you, and you will walk away with actionable tips to implement into your life right away. All right. And it's to help you it's to help you launch. All right. So that you can experience spiritual liberation, freedom, and a revolution in your life. When you embrace who you are as the original woman, this is not just, yes, it's spiritual, but as you elevate spiritually, of course, you're going to see those elevations in your physical life. All right. So it is an intense 90-minute session. All right. And if you have gathered from the way that I communicate, it is direct, but it is loving, and I am a guide. Okay. So this is my approach. So check it out. And if there aren't any more questions, stick around because we have so much more to talk about. Thank you for spending this hour with me. And until next time, be sovereign.